Chapter 6 Gift Economy. A single act of giving throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring and make new trees. Amelia Earhart. How can we envision an economy that is based on cooperation rather than competition? In the previous chapter, we mentioned that scarcity and competition are at the basis of our economic system. It may seem like they are unavoidable, yet there are alternatives. Our economic model is not set in stone. It was made by humans, so humans can also change it. We can distribute resources in ways that make us feel abundance rather than scarcity, compassion instead of selfishness, and create community rather than separation. I believe an important part of an alternative economic solution will be gift economy. What is gift economy? Gift economy is the opposite of a barter or market economy. In a barter or market economies, you exchange goods and services for other goods and services, or for money respectively. In a gift economy, you do or give things without expecting anything in return. You just share what you have and give your time and service to others, without expecting anything in return. All goods and services are simply gifts. Let us have a look at the opposing underlying principles of both models. As mentioned earlier, our modern market economy is based on a sense of scarcity. There are scarce resources: money, time, precious metals, oil, and we have to compete to earn them. This scarcity goes hand in hand with feelings of fear and greed. There is a deeply rooted fear of not having enough, of being left out, which drives our actions and keeps us in want. This stimulates greed, the desire to keep accumulating more, even though technically, we may have enough to fulfill our basic needs. The best players are those who win in the competition and amass the greatest amount of wealth. Gift economy does the exact opposite. It starts from a feeling of abundance. I feel I have enough. Therefore, I happily share my time and resources with others. Gift economy thus revolves around cooperation rather than competition. It is not based on fear and greed, but on trust and contentment. You trust that if you serve and take care of others, something or someone will also take care of you. Gift economy does not support unchecked greed. It is based on fulfilling our needs and being content with what we have. The champions of traditional societies based on gift culture are not the ones that accumulate the most, but the ones that give the most. Generosity is the highest value. The gift must always move, as Lewis Hyde notes in his analysis of traditional gift cultures. Our modern market economy separates us. It assumes we are all separate entities and we have to compete with one another in order to survive. The system is based on the idea that we are self-centered. It is everyone to themselves. Gift economy, on the other hand, connects us and builds community. I help someone. This person might not help me back in return, but others will. And if everyone takes care of one another in this way, we will all be fine. So, gift economy is altruistic instead of self-centered. Moreover, our modern economy objectifies products and relationships. Goods and services are reduced to their monetary value. Everything becomes interchangeable. Money creates rational, impersonal relationships that reduce everyone and everything to numbers. Already 100 years ago, George Simmel wrote, "Money is concerned only with what is common to all. It reduces all quality and individuality to the question, how much. All intimate relations between persons are founded in their individuality, whereas in rational relations, man is reckoned with like a number, like an element that is in itself indifferent. Only the objective, measurable achievement is of interest. Gifts work very differently. If I give you something for your birthday, this will feel entirely different from when you would just buy the exact same thing yourself. Rather than impersonal and interchangeable, gifts are personal and unique. They create and express a relationship between people. Finally, gift economy is fundamentally egalitarian, while a market economy discriminates. When everything has a price, there are always people who cannot afford something, and the world is divided into haves and have-nots. If everything is given freely, nobody has to feel left out. Gift economies, in a way, resemble natural ecosystems. They start from abundance. Resources such as rain, water, air, and sunshine are freely available. Ecosystems are made of a web of intricate and unique relationships. Every being in that web of life takes the resources it needs in order to contribute what it can, all without thought of reward. A tree takes only the water it needs, not more. In return, it produces as many fruits as it can, which are freely available to all. Those you receive from and those you give to are not necessarily one and the same. But in the end, everything is interconnected and a careful balance keeps everything in place. A history of gifts. Gift economy is nothing new. We all practice it with our family and friends. In fact, gift economy is much older than our modern capitalist economy. Research shows that in hunter-gatherer societies, generosity is usually the norm. Food is commonly shared among all members of the group, regardless of whom acquires it. One anthropologist writes, probably everywhere in Aboriginal Australia, the highest secular value is generosity. Readiness to share with others is the main measure of a man's goodness and hospitality, an essential source of his self-esteem. For the larger part of our history, our economy was mainly a gift economy. Hunter-gatherers and early agricultural communities were self-sufficient. They mostly relied on internally sharing their resources. Barter happened only occasionally and was used to acquire rare goods that could not be found locally. In rural villages, life remained pretty much like this up until the advent of the Industrial Revolution. Historian Yuval Noah Harari notes, less than 10% of commonly used products and services were bought in the market. Most human needs were taken care of by the family and the community. Helena Norberg Hodge writes, in the traditional subsistence economy, money played a minor role, used primarily for luxuries, jewelry, silver, and gold. Basic needs, food, clothing, and shelter, were provided for without money. The labor one needed was free of charge, part of an intricate web of human relationships. The role of work. Practicing gift economy does not mean that we will all be lazy and food will just rain down from heaven. We still work, but our relationship towards work is transformed. We do not work as part of our struggle to survive. Rather, gift economy is an opportunity to work from our hearts and to see our work as a real service. In our market economic system, we need a job in order to sustain ourselves. There is a scarcity of resources, so we have to compete to make ends meet. We have to work, otherwise, we may not be able to get food and shelter. This threat is implicit in the system. It is a matter of life and death, or at least that is how it feels like. We are under pressure to find a paid position. We do not have much of a choice. Therefore, we will more easily compromise on our values and do something that does not fully align with the work we want to do. In a gift economy, on the other hand, we work selflessly and wholeheartedly. We do not start from scarcity. We are not afraid that we will die of hunger or cold. We feel abundant and overflowing, and this opens up a whole new range of possibilities. We just want to share our gifts with the world and make it a more beautiful place. As the mother writes, work would not be a way to earn one's living, but a way to express oneself and to develop one's capacities and possibilities while being of service to the community as a whole. Our work is not a job or a chore. Rather, it is a service or an offering. In our market economy, the motivation to work is extrinsic. People are pushed into working with the old carrot and stick. It is almost as if our society believes that deep down humans are lazy and do not want to contribute anything. They need to be pressured to perform anything. In a gift economy, we can shift to an intrinsic motivation. We work because we really want to. Humans are not seen as lazy and selfish, but as endlessly creative and supportive. In a market economy, work is sustained because you can make money with it. This does not necessarily mean it is doing the world any good. Your work can be harmful towards the environment or disturb social relationships. As long as someone is willing to pay for it, you can continue doing it. In a gift culture, such things are sustained which the community considers to be valuable. Nobody is under any obligation to give you money, so they will support you if they feel you are bringing an added value. When our work is a gift, we do not get a paycheck at the end of the month. We do not sign any contract. We trust that if we work in this selfless way, the support we need will come to us. Instead of having professional relationships, our work will create more authentic relationships with other people. These people, or at least some of them, will then feel inspired and will want to support us. This may sound out of this world, but it is, for example, how artists often work. Living in the gift. The idea of gift economy sounds beautiful, but it may seem daunting to put into practice. I would like to share with you how I came to practice gift economy and how my experience has been. From the beginning, we decided to build Sadhana Forest, our community, on the principles of gift economy. It has not always been easy, but it has been an amazing journey so far. Having no business with business. I used to be a businessman. When I wanted to start my own community, I knew I was done doing business. I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to give without expecting anything in return. I was living in Oroville, an area that had suffered greatly from deforestation. When I told a friend about my aspiration not to do business, he said, "You can do indigenous reforestation. Don't worry, you won't make any money." He was joking, actually, but I took his joke very seriously. I decided to start my community based on gift economy, not making any profit, working with volunteers, not selling any products, and just using my own savings. And when I ran out of savings, donations started to come in without me even ever asking for them. And so, the forest we are planting here does not make us any money. The forest is a gift to the community around us, the humans, animals, and plants. The forest provides them with shade, clean air, food, shelter, and water. These benefits are freely available for all living beings around us. We are not selling anyone clean air nor the water that has replenished in the aquifer below. Doing reforestation is a long-term process. It takes decades for a forest to grow back. I will probably no longer be around to see the final result of our tree planting efforts. We are not doing it for ourselves, but for future generations. Those who are planting the forest are also not making any money. We work only with volunteers and practice selfless service, or seva, as we like to call it, using an old Sanskrit word. We are not here to get paid. In fact, we avoid using the term work, as this implies the old mindset of monetary gain and tit for tat. Many people wonder why we insist on working with volunteers. The volunteers stay with us here in the community. They come to this place from many different backgrounds and often with different expectations. It requires a lot of people skills and management to keep everyone happy and to make sure everybody's on the same page. Using our donations to hire local labor could solve those issues. Yet we feel this would have a much less impact, as doing seva is often a transformative experience. Volunteers often leave here as different people. To further avoid any market tendencies coming in, we make it a point not to sell anything inside our community. Everything here is offered as a gift. Apart from our ecological restoration work, we host vegan meals, guided tours, documentary screenings, a children's playground, workshops, and give away food trees, and many other things. Sometimes people tell me we should not offer things this way, because people will take advantage of us. But the truth is, you cannot take advantage of me, because I just love to give. The more I can give, the better. Often people have tried to convince us to start making money. They told us that if we would just sell some natural products or rent out some of the huts where our volunteers are staying, we would have a steady flow of income. This would make it easier to plan expenses and make our lives a bit more predictable. But every single time we refuse to give in to this logic. The moment you start doing business, a different logic starts working. It becomes harder to hold on to your ideals. Money can cloud your vision. I know several communities which have started in a very egalitarian way, practicing gift economy. But at one point, they lost faith that they could sustain themselves in this way. Now, these communities are businesses, restaurants, guest houses, or expensive training centers. The community aspect is all but gone. What it takes to give. Living off gift economy requires great trust. Trust has been a recurring theme throughout this book. But it is all the more relevant here. When you sustain yourself through gift economy, you really do not know what tomorrow might bring. You do not get a wage at the end of the month. You cannot make a business plan. The donation you so dearly need might come today, next month, or never. So gift economy is not for control freaks. You cannot practice gift economy if you are too attached to material comfort, or if you get stressed easily. Rather, you need to be able to let go and have trust that someone or something will want you to continue the work you are doing. It requires a leap of faith. You do not wait until you have everything planned and sorted out. Rather, you just start giving and trust that others will give as well. And so has been our experience in Sadhana Forest. In 20 years, we never failed to fulfill any financial commitment. Many times, we were in dire financial need, even on the verge of bankruptcy. But help always came, often in the last minute. I could tell you many stories of how we had big expenses but no money to pay for them. The solar inverter that broke down, an event that turned out to be much more expensive than planned. And within an hour, someone just randomly walked in, donating us exactly the amount of money that was needed. Gift economy is not for the faint of heart. It can be a real roller coaster ride. Practicing gift economy allows for a deep learning and inner transformation. It forces you to live in the moment, look your existential fears straight in the eye, and overcome them. Through the years, I have learned not to worry too much about money. Whether I worry or not, it does not affect whether or when the money comes. So I might as well let go. The spirit of gift economy is contagious. Once you start giving, a different mindset starts working in people. We no longer see each other as competitors in the economic rat race. We are no longer interested in making profit out of each other. We start to see each other as a family, as a community, and we just want to help each other out. So, giving encourages others to give and pay it forward. And eventually, gifts come back to you in one form or another. We do our work selflessly and without expecting a reward for it. Paradoxically, this is why people want to sustain it. Living off gift economy will require you to live simply. As mentioned before, gift economy can sustain our need, not our greed. If you drive around in a fancy car and have a big house with a swimming pool, people will probably not be so eager to give to you. If you get a big bonus at the end of the year, why would people give you more? If they see you are living simply, volunteering, taking only what you need, they will more easily sympathize with you. This is also how in many Eastern traditions, monastics and spiritual seekers have been supported by the community throughout the ages. One last remark. Gift economy does not mean begging for money. If people feel pressured to donate to you, it is no longer gift economy. In that case, you still come from a perspective of scarcity and not abundance. You truly should give without expecting anything in return. Gift economy relies on giving from heart to heart, without any form of pressure, guilt, or coercion. The only thing you have to do is to communicate your needs. You have to make it clear to people that you do need certain things and what you need in order to achieve which goals. Then it is up to them whether they feel like supporting or not. Obviously, there is a thin line between communicating your needs and asking for money. Personally, I always try to be very cautious not to make anyone feel pressured to give back. My volunteers had to argue with me for a long time before I agreed to put something as simple as a donation box in our community. Gift stories. My story is definitely not the only one. Across the world, countless acts of selfless service and altruistic giving are happening every day. This very book was written using software that is open source and is under a Creative Commons license. And we have often used Wikipedia as a point of entry to orient ourselves for the research on the different topics of this book. Many spiritual organizations, charities, and NGOs rely entirely on gifts. Hundreds of millions of people engage in volunteering worldwide. In the EU, 22% of the population participates in informal volunteer activities on a yearly basis, and 19% in a formal volunteer activities. In the US, estimates of the yearly number of volunteers rise up to almost 60%. There are gift economy networks, gift restaurants, and free stores, or websites where people give away things for free. There are even a handful of courageous people in recent times who consciously have given up the usage of money. There are even clear examples of cases where gift economy works better than regular market economic approaches. In his classic work, The Gift Relationship, social scientist Richard Titmuss compared the functioning of blood banks in the US and the UK. He came to the conclusion that the British system, which relied on voluntary donations, functioned far better than the American one, where people gave blood for money. Giving material rewards has been shown to reduce altruistic behavior. One can only wonder what the effect of this is in a society where the main reward for most activities is money. The fact that so much selfless giving still happens today might well be proof of just how strong our innate tendency to give is. Gifts that keep on giving. The latest scientific research seems to confirm the benefits of giving. It shows that giving can make us happier, healthier, and more likely to give. Pro-social behavior has been shown to improve both mental and physical health. Giving and helping others leads to what has been called a warm glow effect, or a helper's high. Worldwide, studies show spending money on other people makes you happier than spending it on yourself. When we give to charity, the same reward system is activated in our brain as when we earn a reward. Other studies show how volunteering improves both emotional and physical well-being. This is believed to be because helping others increases social integration and reduces stress. Volunteering can also improve feelings of self-efficacy because people feel they are making a difference. Giving is not only healthy, it is also contagious. Our own experience here is beginning to be paralleled by scientific studies. Giving has a ripple effect. If someone gives altruistically, the receiver will be more likely to give to others as well. In one experiment, this effect was observed up to 3 degrees of separation. A gave to B, who was more likely to give to C, who was more likely to give to D, who was more likely to give to E. When you give to others without getting anything in return, you are also more likely to receive gifts from third parties. This principle has been called indirect reciprocity. Game theorists and evolutionary scientists have made models of indirect reciprocity and calculated under which conditions it can function and bring a group to flourish. In experiments where people can donate to one another, people who give more donations also tend to receive more donations. People are more inclined to give to people they perceive as altruistic. The conclusion is clear to me. We are made to give. Giving is hardwired into our biological makeup. It is our genetic expectation to give and cooperate. These altruistic behaviors might not seem to give us any profit at first sight. However, our nervous systems reward these behaviors. Evolution has selected individuals who seem to enjoy giving. This implies that giving improves our chances of survival and reproduction and benefits our society as a whole.
This is Orville Radio, Voices from the City of Dawn.